Welcome back, everybody, for another random, mostly useless, but I guess not completely AoE2 facts video. I made the first one a long time ago, and it was very popular. People thought it was a lot of fun, and I am simply chock full of random AoE2 factoids, and we're going to be giving you 4 more of them in this video right here, guys. Now, I'm sure a lot of you know at least some of them or something about them, but I think there's going to be at least some discoveries for almost everybody. So hopefully you guys are going to enjoy this. Definitely let me know what you thought was super cool in the comments below, and of course if you did enjoy it, be sure to give it a like. But without further ado, let's jump into our first random fact. Alright, let's start off with something nice and easy. So, in AoE2, when you research a unit upgrade, that is, getting the Men-at-Arms upgrade, Long Swordsman, or whatever, Elite Skirmisher, Heavy Cav Archer, that whole thing, each upgrade either further increases a unit's stat in any given area, so upgrading from Militia to Men-at-Arms gives you +2 attack and +5 HP, or at the very least, it doesn't change it negatively. Mostly. So you can see here that the Swordsman isn't getting any more armor when you upgrade to Men-at-Arms. It's the same. It's either better or the same in every single stat, in every single instance in this game, except for 3. And I'll go over all 3 examples here. Now, I will say that it is always, at least 99% of the time, worth it to research these upgrades, as it makes the unit better in every other way. But there are 3 negative side effects when it comes to unit upgrades, so let's see exactly what they are. Our first contestant is going to be the Scout line. Here we're in the Feudal Age, so our Scout Cavalry will be having 5 attack and its full movement speed. And we also will have a Light Cavalry and a Hussar, one of each flavor. Other than that, there are no upgrades for these units. They're completely unupgraded. So once I delete this outpost, they are going to just run a nice and simple race to the flags at the end. I'm sure many of you can see where this is going if you do not know this one already. And they're off! So you can see here, the Light Cavalry and the Hussar are moving at the exact same speed, but the Scout is ever so slightly faster. And you can see that it will stop here at the finish line just a hair before the Light Cav and the Hussar. And yeah, that is because Scout Cavalry indeed are faster than Light Cavalry and Hussars. Light Cav and Hussars both have a movement speed of 1.5 tiles per second, whereas the Scout Cavalry has actually 1.55 tiles per second. I don't know why that is. I feel like it was just a mistake that was made decades ago, and no one's ever felt like it's worth correcting because the game is fine as is, But yeah, that's just a little strange, but still, Light Cavalry is way worth it because you get 2 extra attack, 15 extra HP, and some bonus damage against monks, so it's still a very worthwhile upgrade. Our next contestants will be the Nightline. So right here we have one of each flavor, a Knight, a Cavalier, and a Paladin. And same as the Scouts, these units have no upgrades other than their unit upgrades, except for some small modifications I did to the Knight and Cavalier. I gave the Knight +4 attack, and the Cavalier +2 attack, and this is just done to make all of their attacks the exact same, 14, 14, 14. And like the number 14 is a taunt, if we delete these out, or this outpost, everyone's going to start attacking their respective outposts. There we go. And you're going to notice a slight difference at the rate in which these 3 outposts are destroyed. Of course, it still takes a second to destroy an outpost, so I'll probably cut ahead to the end bit, because I didn't really plan this too well. Alright, here we are at the end. All 3 outposts are burning. Which ones are going to be destroyed first? And exactly! You can see that, again, ever so slightly, Knights and Cavaliers attack faster than Paladins. Now, again, I feel like this was some small oversight done 20 plus years ago and was never corrected because I don't think anybody's like, you know what, Paladins are too bad, let's make Paladins better. So yeah, that's always been a thing. Knights and Cavaliers have an attack rate of 1.8, whereas paladins have 1.9. So again, slight difference here. But of course, as I'm sure most of you are well aware of, paladins are quite a big step up from cavaliers. So even though they attack ever so slightly slower, it's still very much worth it. Our last contestants will be the Chukonu. We switched our civ over to Chinese, and you can see we have one regular old Chukonu, no upgrades, and one elite Chukonu, no upgrades. Now, this difference is less of, I feel like, a random oversight than it's more of a natural consequence of the fact that elite Chukonu fire more arrows per volley, but notice the fire rate. It is going to be slower for the elite Chukonu, very slightly, because it fires more arrows. And like, look. See? Attacks ever so slightly faster. Now, remember that the elite Chukonu firing more arrows does mean that the unit is ultimately dealing more damage, even if it is attacking a little bit slower. You can see already burning here, not quite burning here just yet. So again, elite Chukonu is definitely an upgrade, or like a worthwhile improvement. Although, honestly, this one might be with the most practical in-game application, because maybe it is sometimes worth prioritizing rocketry over the elite Chukonu upgrade. Again, it's all very, very situational, but yeah, even though the elite Chukonu is ultimately dealing more damage over time, it is, in fact, slightly slower, and all three of these will be our unit upgrades that actually have a little bit of a negative side effect. Every other upgrade in the game boosts this unit stat, or at least, doesn't hurt the unit stat. So there we go, that is going to be our random fact, useless tip, whatever, number 1. Alright, next up, we're going to get just a little bit more obscure, but we're going to kind of fall down a rabbit hole with this one. And now we're going to be looking at the interaction between monks and relics and dying, especially from transport ships. But first, as I'm sure many of you know, you pick a relic with a monk, and if the monk dies, the relic will just spawn right next to them. So first up, we're going to see what happens when the monk is not able to deposit the relic right next to him because he's surrounded by units. Bloop. The relic will just hop over one tile, or however many, in smaller numbers like this. And yeah, the relic will just go right there. But I'm sure many of you knew that one, so let's just get a little bit more obscure. Okay, now what happens? I'm sure, some of you know this one still, but it's still going to be pretty obscure. We're going to pick up the relic. We have these flags and road tiles to mark where we're doing stuff. And we're going to specifically board the transport ship at this tile, so we can just keep track of it. And the monk is going to have the relic and be in the transport ship. And we're going to sail over here to this tile. Now, if I delete this transport ship with the monk and the relic inside, where is the relic going to end up? Is it going to end up here, on the closest available shoreline? Is it going to end up here, where the monk got into the transport? Or is it going to end up here, where the relic initially, spawned? So, boop! And indeed, it will be spawning not on this tile, but one tile next to it. And I've tested this a few times, and it seems completely random, as it is when a monk normally dies with a relic. It's like the monk is invisibly in the middle of this tile, and then the relic just, spawns at the very edge of it, next on another tile. So I've seen the relic spawn here, the relic spawn here, and the relic spawn here. So it is completely random, but it is, at the edge of one tile away from where the relic got onto the transport ship. But I'm sure many of you knew that. Let's go a little bit deeper. Alright, same deal as last time. Gonna grab the relic. We're gonna go ahead and board the transport ship at this tile. We're gonna sail out into the lake. Except we got some villagers here, and what if we say, screw you, landing spot? We're gonna build a bunch of palisades around it, just to, completely block it up and see what happens. One moment. Alright, so we've completely blocked up the tile that we, jumped onto the transport ship on, and we've also completely blocked up pretty much all of the surrounding tiles. So, well, what happens? Is the relic just going to, like the with the units, just going to pop out, you know, like right here, or whatever? Or is it going to do something different? Wait, where did the relic go? Indeed, it goes back to where the relic spawned! But also, again, at one tile away, essentially, you know, as if there was a monk that died right in the middle here. The relic will actually teleport at that point back to where the relic spawned, and, you know, as if a monk, again, died and the relic just fell right next to it. But what if where the relic spawned is also obstructed? Uh-oh. Alright, here we go. Monk picks up the relic, jumps onto the transport ship. Now, give me a moment while I build up the area. Alright, so we not only covered up the area where, you know, we got onto the transport ship, but we have also covered up the relic's starting location. And I guess just as a note, it doesn't matter what you're covering up the locations with. I'm just building some walls and a market because it's big, and then some houses around it. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. So, guys, where does the relic go now? Will it go just, you know, right around the market? Or will it do something else? Bloop. Wait a minute. Hold on. Where's the relic? Uh-oh. Good thing I made these scout cavalry in the editor, because we gotta do some scouting. Here it is. Here's the relic. Right here? Yeah, I don't know on this one, guys. I deleted the transport ship, like, around over here. So why is it over here? I really have no idea. Like, I don't know the mechanics at this point. So the relic just happened to spawn over here now, because, you know, this was blocked and this was blocked. The transport died over here. But the relic's now over here, you know? Just over there. Just happens to be where the relic is. I don't see why people would be surprised. I mean, the situation comes up all the time, right? Right, guys? So yeah, there's your relic rabbit hole falling down. So let's go ahead and move along. Moving on now to our second to last adventure here today of weird, useless, almost information. We have the humble elite cannon galleon. And we're going to be taking a look at its bonus damage. As you can see, we have a representative of most different sorts of, you know, unit/building classes. And most people think of cannon galleons as, okay, they're pretty much only used against buildings, and that's kind of it. Maybe some siege weapons, or maybe some ships if you can, but mostly versus buildings. But there's actually a lot going on here, so let's take a look at this. Now, when I am talking about the Elite Cannon Galleon, everything I'm saying is also going to apply to the regular Cannon Galleon in terms of bonus damage, with the exception of buildings, which I will showcase first. But other than this, note that everything is going to be the same between Elite Cannon Galleons and regular Cannon Galleons, just with the exception that the Elite Cannon Galleon is dealing 10 more damage. But still, first, their intended target against buildings. Outposts have no armor. 180 HP remaining. So 320 damage has been dealt in total, and if we subtract the 45 base attack of the Elite Cannon Galleon, we will get that there is 275 bonus damage that Elite Cannon Galleons have against buildings. Alright, that's not too crazy. Most people realized it was something around there. And just note that regular Cannon Galleons will be getting plus 200 damage instead of 275, so a regular Cannon Galleon would be dealing 235 damage as opposed to 320. Now, like I said, that's the only difference, and I'm sure most of you guys know that, and that this isn't too interesting, but just wait. Now, I've modified the rest of these units to have 200 HP, just to have a bit of a better demonstration, and just remember now that Cannon Galleons deal melee damage, so I just chose everything that had no melee armor as a representative, in most cases. Alright, the Onager. Bloop! You can see that 85 damage has been dealt in total, so that is pretty straightforward. You get 45 damage as a base attack, and therefore you get plus 40 bonus damage. So, you know, in general, Cannon Galleon's pretty decent against siege units, and both the regular and Elite Cannon Galleons are getting that plus 40 value. Again, a lot of you probably knew that. That is not too surprising. But let's move on. The Arbalest, an archer unit. 45 damage? No! 60 damage? That's right, cannon galleons get plus 15 bonus damage against archers. For reasons. Next up is going to be the Elite Gebetto, our infantry representative. Bloop. Again, 60 damage dealt, same plus 15 value. The Hussar, our cavalry unit. 60 damage. Seeing a trend here, guys. What about the Cav Archer, or the Elite Kipchak, which has 0 armor, but it's a Cav Archer? See that 75 damage is being dealt in total because the Cannon Galleon gets to double dip on getting bonus damage against both archers and cavalry, although it's not, they don't get extra bonus damage against Cav Archers specifically, so 75 damage here to the Elite Kipchak. So 60 damage then to the Heavy Camel. Nope, 45 damage. You don't get bonus damage against camels with cannon galleons. Just, you know, cuz. And the odd one out here, and the reason that this is going to be one of our useless tips, we have the Elite Mameluke. So what's it going to be? Is it the Elite Mameluke does have 1 melee armor. So is it going to be dealing 44 damage then? Nope, it is going to be dealing 63? Huh? So in case you weren't aware, Mamelukes are classified by several different things. Camels, unique units, and also archers, because I guess the devs originally wanted skirmishers to at least do semi-okay against them. So how do we get this 63 number then? Oh, alright, so 45 base damage, and then if we add in 15, we get, for it being an archer, we get 60. Well, where's the extra 3 damage coming from? Or 4 damage, as it actually is, because that's right, Elite Cannon Galleons and Cannon Galleons get 4 damage, bonus damage, against Mamelukes. Exactly. Very specifically. That's it. That's all their bonus damage. They have specific bonus damage against buildings, siege units, archers, infantry, cavalry, none against camels, and also Mamelukes. Just, you know, cuz. Why not have them? Give them exactly 4 bonus damage against Mamelukes, because that's a thing. So, you know, well, the more you know, guys. Now, last but certainly not least in today's misadventures, we have converting unique buildings, of which there are 4 currently. We have the Bulgarian Krepost, the Portuguese Feitoria, the Sicilian Donjon, and the Malay Harbor. So, what's it like converting these buildings? I have given ourselves some fully upgraded monks with Saracens, and, you know, just made the slight modification of giving all my monks 5,000 HP, just to make sure that they don't die in the process, as 3 of these are defensive buildings. So, let's do this. Now, starting with the Krepost, like castles, you know, the unit, or building, I guess, that it's supposed to be like an analog for, you cannot convert Krepost. You just can't, no matter how much redemption you research. Now, this is going to keep shooting at me and be kind of annoying, so I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of it real quick. Okay, got rid of that Krepost. I also moved the donjon over here, so that if I'm able to convert it, it's not going to be in range of the harbor, and vice versa. So, let us go to the donjon next. Of course, it will be shooting at us. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Note that this is indeed a Sicilian donjon. I made each building part of their respective civilization. And we have our very own donjon. It can garrison 10 units, including this monk. But unfortunately, we do not get the ability to train sergeants. That is, of course, only for Sicilians. But, just like regular towers, you are able to convert donjons. Okay, next we're gonna do the harbor for Malay. Let's go ahead and convert this. And we did it! We converted the enemy harbor. Note, though, that Malay do get access to heresy. So if the Malay player does have heresy research, the building will simply be destroyed. But as you can see here, guys, I can't make any ships from this. It functions as a defensive structure, but for some reason you can't make ships from converted Malay harbors. Also, I don't even know what this means, but there's 600 of something going on here. I have no idea what that actually is, but there's definitely 600 of it. Yeah, this one I'm a little baffled on. So yeah, for some reason you're not able to produce any ships from it, no matter which civilization you are. So, unless you're Malay. So yeah, that's kind of weird. Alright, so, I don't know really why I restarted, but just going to convert these guys, and now we're going to move on to our final building, the Victoria of Portuguese, who, remember, of course, do get access to heresy. So the building will be destroyed if you convert it, if they also have that researched, but I made the AI not have heresy. Nope, we have 32 population from all of our other tests, and 5,000 of every resource. And indeed, everything pretty much plays out as you would expect. You have a resource trickle of all the resources, and you also get that 20 population space. So if you convert a Victoria, you are also taking on the burden of that 20 pop space, but are still getting that resource trickle. So yeah, that is all of the conversions and or not able to do conversions of all of the unique buildings, and it will of course wrap up our random semi-useful, not really AoE2 facts. Alright guys, so that was 4 more random AoE2 facts and bits of information. Now, I suppose you're technically more knowledgeable after watching this video, but I'm sure it doesn't really feel like it. But regardless, I do hope you guys enjoy, and definitely be sure to leave a like if you did, and I will see you all next time.